Amazon's The Rings of Gaslighting. Welcome to today's topic, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Coach Tobias Forst, founder of achillesLifecoaching, decade-long recipient of narcissistic abuse, and I've saved myself from it. And I accompany you on your journey to your personal freedom. So let's get straight to the point. What we've seen with Rings of Power, especially when it comes to the marketing, are two massive aspects of gaslighting directed at most of us. Those 2 points of gaslighting are the following. You must believe that this is Lord of the Rings. 2. If you utter any word of criticism toward this show, you must be an ist or a phobe. Ladies and gentlemen, gaslighting and narcissistic abuse is something that wherever it rears its ugly head, I have the duty to point it out. So in order for us to see it for what it is and set healthy boundaries. That said, if you want to see reviews for this, there are plenty of sources out there. We will stick with narcissism-related elements of the Rings of Gaslighting, the Rings of Power by Amazon. We will use today, in this video, one of our most effective tools against narcissistic abuse, which is, in my opinion, Hitchens's razor. What can be asserted without evidence can also be dismissed without evidence. So, what is asserted without evidence? They claim this is Galadriel, this is how she is. And our response to that, using Hitchens's razor, is simply no. Our response is false. Our response is bogus. Elves can have dark skin. Our response is that's plausible. Surface dwellers, like most of the peoples in the already diverse and inclusive Middle-earth, doesn't really matter. Moving on. Other characters, any good? Are the characters accurately depicted? Is our question to Amazon. And then there is another claim. Dwarves can have dark skin. Our response is unlikely due to them being dwellers beneath the earth, lack of sunlight, but it doesn't really matter. Moving on. Plus the question directed at Amazon, are the characters depicted accurately? Another claim, Elrond prefers men. Well, it doesn't really matter, regardless of how often they shove it in our face on the screen during at least the first 2 episodes that I've watched, and I will not watch any more of those. But our question to Amazon is the character depicted accurately? So what you can see now, ladies and gentlemen, is that it is enough to label your preference as not politically correct, regardless of what your preference might be. Let's say your preferences are exactly as I elaborated them just a few moments ago. With the fact that you have doubts about melanin content in dwarves, but have no issue at all with dark-skinned elves. That is still not true to the message. That is why you must be labeled in a subsequent higher gaslighting stage, which we will come to in a few moments. Your lack of preference for the sexual orientation of characters in this show means, by extension, to those people that created the show, that you're not exactly pro same sex, are you now? Which might be the case or might not be the case, but it is still not enough. That is why they must come to a new stage, a higher stage of gaslighting. And that gaslighting stage contains the following message. If you criticize any of that, the way that they did this show, you must be an ist and a phobe. Using Hitchens's razor again, because we already disproved all of the above, our answers will still be no, not an ist, not a phobe. False, not an ist, not a phobe. Bogus, not an ist, not a phobe. Let's analyze the word root. Phobia, phobos, Greek, the fear. Are you afraid of varying degrees of skin color? No. Are you afraid of intimate partner preferences of characters in TV shows? No. But let's humor ourselves for a bit, ladies and gentlemen, and play along just for a thought experiment with this gaslighting stage 2 by the higher-ups in Amazon and their eager, also all too eager marketing team. I must admit at this point in time that while watching the first 2 episodes, 2 hours of my life spent on watching The Rings of Power, I discovered 3 phobias of my own that I was unaware of that I had. The first is an inspiratio carens phobia. I'm afraid of a lack of inspiration of modern TV shows, and The Rings of Power triggered that fear in me. Moreover, I discovered that I suffer from malscriptophobia. I have a natural fear of bad scripts, and The Rings of Power triggered just that. And last, but certainly not least, I discovered that I suffer from tediophobia, the fear of boredom. And The Rings of Power triggered just that fear in me. So I ask you for your understanding that once I'm finished with this video, I will seek out my personal safe space and put on some calming jungle, water, rainfall music. So who does this gaslighting come from, ladies and gentlemen? It comes from narcissistic script authors. They're enablers, they're eager marketers, and they tried to pedestalize it on the foundation of some bought reviews. Overall, it comes from screaming immature adult children. Screaming immature adult children that, according to my recommendation, should learn the meaning of words first, that they so eagerly and profusely use to label us. If we don't agree with A, we must be B. People that hopefully at some point find the decency of feeling shame within themselves for what they did to everyone involved in the production and the acting for all their future careers or possible lack thereof. Because the characters they wrote and the story arcs they tried to conceive were wooden at best. This gaslighting attempt and The Rings of Power in general is another great example of when reality smashes into I want, I want, I want. Life comes with a series of choices, and each and every one of those choices comes with a set of consequences. And each of our own personal lives' choices entails sacrifice. For this example today, what does that mean? It means that if you claim to adapt Tolkien, you have to show integrity to the source. If you leave behind the integrity to the source, it is no longer an adaptation of Tolkien. It is a mere and highly expensive fan film. Moreover, if you manage to create deep and intricate storylines, if you manage to create believable characters that are on a journey of personal development, you will get good reviews by the viewers. If you fail at that, and the story is bland and the characters are soulless, you will earn harsh and negative criticism. But despite that sinking ship that they managed to create with such a budget, two achievements, ladies and gentlemen, we must not forget. We must not ignore the following two achievements. Achievement number 1. Amazon, by creating the Rings of Power the way they did it, managed to create the world's most extensive and expansive narcissism help to see narcissism for what it is, and to so transparently display how gaslighting works, who it comes from, what the intention is, and that they managed to do with a measly $1 billion. Achievement number 2. Achievement number 2 is the fact that countless people out there, thanks to Rings of Power, are now able to wake up and see and perceive and recognize narcissistic abuse. Some of you might now say, but Tobias, this has been going on in Hollywood for a while now. Then I must respond, yes, you are absolutely correct. But it doesn't have to remain that way. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to narcissistic abuse in your lives, you decide, and you alone decide, who gets your time, who gets your money, who gets your validation, and who gets your attention. And at the latest, over the long run, the recipient must not be narcissists. So to conclude today's video, ladies and gentlemen, I recommend we all adhere to the advice given by Gandalf the White to Aragorn in the movie The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. The people of Rohan will need you. The defenses have to hold. And as the collective Aragorn that I suggest we become right now, our response is, they will hold. Be your own hero and be your own heroine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.